And then you'll have some big bundles of really long reeds to actually do the weaving with. They'll all be soaking. So what you have the kids do is they'll come up, they'll get their bundle. Like I said, these will already be soaking, and they're going to get them to stick through the holes. Now they're natural reeds, so some are bigger than others. So some you might want to wait and find a bigger hole to stick through, or something like that. Once you get them through just like this, you go all the way around your base. You want to get them in a little over an inch all the way through. And they'll hold their water for a while. Some are a little bit bigger than others. The biggest thing is just to remind your kids to be patient. As soon as they start shoving or breaking, that's when things get broken. And not so much at this stage in it, but later on, once a reed breaks, it's very hard to fix. So once you get them kind of pulled through, like this, the way that you secure the base that they'll be building from the rest of the day is you take one of the reeds and you bend it down behind the one next to it. Okay? And I pulled these through a little bit longer than they should just to show you. Then you'll take the next one and you'll bend it down behind its neighbor as well. So by doing that, it has pinned that first one down. You'll repeat this all the way around the base. So when you're done, it should end up looking kind of like a wreath pattern, I guess. And that first reed that you laid down, you just kind of work up with your finger a little bit, and you tuck the last one up underneath it, and then it's set. Now, I usually have them just kind of wait a minute, let them talk or hang out in your room for a minute while everybody else is doing this. You kind of want these to dry a little bit, because once they dry, they set and they're good. But if these start to untangle, it's really hard to get them back. So then this is the base that they'll build from the rest of the day. And I cut one, so this is a little bit shorter than some of them. You'll have them start weaving by going inside one of the posts, and they can hold it with their finger, and then it's just a simple inside outside pattern all the way around. And then because there's an odd number of posts, it does the opposite your second go round and opposite your third go round. So you go around and around and around. Again, remind them, be careful, you don't want to snap these off, because as soon as you break down to an even number, it's not going to weave properly and it's going to fall apart. So you want to make sure that they take their time and they're patient and they go through. And some of your kids will pick it up and they'll be naturals, and as soon as you see them do that, have them help you. Go around with some of your other students that are not quite as basket weaving inclined. And you'll see some of them will get really quick with it, and others, this is what their basket will look like after 7 hours of weaving. So now, if you just keep an even pressure, the basket kind of weaves itself straight all the way up. If you relax the pressure while you're weaving, meaning like, so if I go over this post and then I give it kind of a push back on the reed that I'm weaving, I've loosened the string, the basket will bulge. If I tighten as I pull through, the basket will cinch in. So if you look at the one that's up on top of my bookshelf, I kind of started going straight up, then I bulged it, then I cinched it, then I bulged it. So they can get pretty creative. Some of them will make almost like a plate, because they'll be too loose. It'll just start falling over on itself. So when you see them do that, tell them, they can unwind it and then come back and give it a little bit more pressure as they come through the reeds, okay? And then they pretty much just go, when they run out of this reed, they'll grab another one, start where they left off, and just keep building on top of it. When they reach the top, when they've got about the same amount that you tucked underneath, that's kind of when you know they need to be slowing down and stopping. You'll almost do the same thing for the bottom, where you'll take the tip of the reed and you'll tuck it down beside its neighbor on top of the weave, and that'll hold the weave together all the way at the top, okay? And I'll try to be making my way around too, and if anybody, you know, if you got a really creative kid that doesn't know how to end it or whatever, you can send them to me, that's no problem. That's no problem. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Does anybody have any questions about that? It's pretty easy. Like I said, once they get the hang of it, they kind of fly with it.
If it starts to dry a little, can they just take the spot and kind of stick it in the water?
Yes. You will want them to, if it starts to dry out, because these will start to dry out in the air, especially since this will take, most kids will take about 2 class periods to complete it. Some will take the full 3, but they'll just take it, if they just stick it inside the bucket of water, upside down like this, which of course is a much larger bucket, and just leave it there for just a few minutes, let them walk around, go see their friends, you know, that kind of stuff, and then they'll come back, pull it out, and these will all be much more pliable again.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we just ask if there's a student who's not interested or the thing falls apart and they're not wanting to fix it, save the wooden bases. Okay. Once they've done the weaving, this is pretty much unusable, but the bases we can reuse. Okay. Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.